"77 benevolent elephants. Betty bought butter, but the butter was bitter. So Betty bought better butter to make the bitter butter better. Elizabeth has 11 elves in her elm tree. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious." What do you make of all these? Well, tongue twisters. Hello everyone. My name is Rucha S. Koth, a language trainer, translator, blogger, traveler, and a mom. I help individuals in learning languages, bettering their communication skills, and thereby excel in their careers. My interaction with individuals, leaders, professors, clients from the 25 plus countries that I have traveled to for business and leisure have given me valuable insights on the importance of neutral pronunciation and diction. Diction. What do you all make of this word? Style of enunciation used in speaking or singing. Correct pronunciation has many benefits in later years and also for kids. Pronunciation is the style in which you speak so that people are able to understand you and grasp what you want to say in an efficient manner. It aids in better social interaction timelines and improved social skills in children. It has also known to improve study patterns and overall confidence in children. How can children improve pronunciation or diction? We will see this in our upcoming speech. Generally, children who have a learning history with Sanskrit or have learned Sanskrit at some point of their life tend to have crisper and clear pronunciation. Now this has three reasons. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. Well, many might argue that Tamil is the mother of all languages because it's an ancient one as well. But Tamil is precisely the mother of all Dravidian languages. Sanskrit language has so many shlokas and tongue twisters that children automatically use their mouth, tongue and throat muscles in a balanced manner, producing correct language patterns. Let's take the examples of some other languages as well. Marathi, a language spoken widely all over Maharashtra, India. We must stick to using the editorial or the corporate use of Marathi used in newspapers and schools when we are speaking in a professional setting. Using dialects from regions like Konkan, Malwan or Vidarbha might not go very well in professional settings because people might have difficulty understanding you. When we come to any South Indian language, say Malayalam, the Malayalam spoken in the Kollam region of Kerala is said to have an editorial or a corporate tone to it. There are urban dialects spoken in Cochin, Thrissur and Trivandrum that have colloquial influences or an urban tone to them which are not recommended to be used in a professional setting. When we talk about German, the Hochdeutsch or the High German used in universities and schools is said to have a standard usage or an editorial tone to it. There are other dialects like Schwäbisch, Danish, Bayerisch and Hessisch used in various regions of Germany, but we must stick to using the editorial tone so that everybody on a global level understands it. When we talk about French, the French spoken in the metropolitan area of Paris and the nearby areas is considered standard or has an editorial tone to it. There are many other dialects, the Swiss French, Belgian French, Acadian and the Quebec French spoken in Canada, but it is not recommended to use them in professional settings or demanding public occasions. When we come to Spanish, the Valencian or the Catalan form of Spanish is the original form of Spanish and the other dialects have been derived from it. There are various official versions of Spanish because Spanish is a language spoken in around 23 countries of the world, but we must stick to using the standard form. For example, a Mexican speaking Spanish and a Cuban speaking Spanish at the same time in their own dialects might not understand each other because the meaning of the sentence might also change when there is a change in the pronunciation. Through all these examples, I would only like to iterate that neutral pronunciation serves as a major advantage in demanding public occasions to make others understand what you want to tell them in an efficient manner. I got intrigued by this area of linguistics when I was learning foreign languages at the tender age of 16. In the year 2020, I got an opportunity to conduct a study on around 70 students of grade 8 and 9 from the state of Haryana on the extent and the nature of spelling errors made by these students. My study was English language specific. However, I tested both written and spoken forms. I chose English because it is a widely spoken language and the need of the hour. Through my study, I found out that generally a student who is leaving school from the rural area of India might not have their English up to the mark. Now, this has various factors: the language exposure, their speech habits, their intellectual factors, their reading and writing habits, and also their exposure to good and efficient language trainers, and therefore these skills need to be developed. Let's take some professional examples wherein we can see the importance of neutral pronunciation. Imagine if a doctor writes a prescription in shady handwriting, does not tell you the pronunciation of the medicine properly, and does not give you forth your diagnosis in a clear tone. Will you take that doctor seriously? Imagine if a lawyer presents a case in front of a judge with incorrect pronunciation and no good usage of grammar. Will the judge take that lawyer seriously? The most important profession, the teacher. A teacher should have clearer and crisp pronunciation, or should know how to talk in a neutral tone so that her students or his students understand them, because the students impersonate the teacher in the long run. Let us take the example of a famous scientist. If a scientist is not able to put forth their ideas properly, will we able to grasp their findings correctly? Such is the importance of neutral pronunciation. Now, how can we develop diction and neutral pronunciation in younger children from an earlier age? Developing strong visual memory, also known as visual perceptual ability, is very important. Reading to toddlers and young children from a very tender age, not only newspapers and storybooks, but books from different walks of life and different topics and different spheres. Games and exercises should be played with them, which improve and sharpen their memory and thereby sparking their imagination. Focus should be there on oral work and auditory impressions that you have on your child, so that your child gets exposure to various kinds of lexicon from an early age. Listening to public speakers in the target language, reading newspapers and listening to various kinds of media like documentaries and films in the target language also helps. Standard articulation usually takes time. However, if you understand the recommended milestones of speech development, you can always put emphasis on articulation and improve these things in your children. In no way do I want to say that my findings or opinion criticize or discourage you from using local accents or dialects. It is certainly a way of life, and we all must embrace it and our culture. However, when we are in a professional and a public setting, we have a responsibility towards our receptor. That responsibility is that they should be able to perceive the information that you are giving them correctly and efficiently. Articulation also has certain long-term effects. The long-term effects are usually the temporary age-based factors. In the long term, when you work on your diction and neutral pronunciation, you are also able to address the need of how others like to be perceived, and in the long run, it also has profound effects on your own understanding of how you want to impart information to your audience and what your preferred audience likes to hear. I would like to conclude by saying that please try and use neutral pronunciation or diction in your professional settings. Like I said earlier, in no way are we discouraging the use of local accents or dialects. However, we must speak in a clear tone, free of accents, dialects and colloquial influences as a responsibility towards our receptor. Additionally, I would also like to add that younger children are more prone to developing these skills because they hear and take in everything very quickly till the tender age of 7. That is all for today. Thank you for your time and attention.